Hello everybody and welcome back to RogueTech, where we absolutely have to take this financial report at this point. It's going to put us pretty close here, but that should be okay. So let's tick forward, and we will absolutely take that. Sure. So we're going to have what, like 300k left? Plenty. Okay, so we're definitely working on getting a lot of these repairs done. Let's just cruise through those until at least we have our mech warriors back, and then we'll evaluate. Okay, so at this point, we're about a week out, and we do still have a number of these projects to work on. I don't really care about the Panther or the Blackjack. Those are kind of irrelevant to me. The Centurion, the Vulcan are also pretty irrelevant, particularly the Vulcan. Okay. So I think we'll do something like this. Let's go ahead and hop into the barracks and see if anybody needs any training here. Excellent. Anybody else? Yeah, actually, Falcon could use a bit of guts. That's fine. Jinx could use a bit of guts as well. Absolutely fine. Kraken, too. There you go, buddy. Fantastic. Anybody else? Okay, guts for Squib. And that's it. Okay, so now the question is, how long on our big boys? The Imp is in 18, the Dragon is in 20, the Sorcerer is in 24. Okay, we'll tick forward until I think the Argo upgrade is done. We'll tick forward a little bit here and then re-evaluate. We are, of course, going to need to continue working on the Argo upgrade. Sure, Lord Dacky, you can read the Art of Assassination. Okay, he's now an assassin, but he loses 3,000 experience. Sure. Good for Called Shot and OP accuracy, and up in the upkeep as well. Not the greatest, but that's okay. We will take that. Aryamaki and the drive upgrades will be done right now. Fantastic. Okay, so in order to get our next engineering upgrade, we're probably going to have to dip into the reserves, right? Let's see, this is 240k. We can actually pull this off,
It'll take a bit, but we'll get it done.
but we're real low right now. So that's the thing. I'm going to go ahead and hop over to the mech bay, and we're going to see about doing a little bit of scrapping here. Now, in terms of what we actually want to scrap, the question is, what are we going to use? There's this Raven. I'd rather sell the Raven, I think, than scrap it. Timberwolf, Summoner, those are pretty decent parts. Like, I want to go into, say, mediums here. The Stormcrow is a pretty decent medium. I think we'll go ahead and scrap these Maxim parts. We've already got a Maxim. So we'll do that, and that will get us up to 123. That's great. Anything else in here we want? Well, probably not this 50-ton rifleman. Get out of here. This primitive Centurion? No thanks. And this primitive Azula. There, that'll be good for now. That gets us up to 200k. The question is, do we deploy now without our big boys still? Or do we tick forward until the Dragon Slayer and the Imp are done? That is a question, isn't it? What do we have available right now? We have the Guillotine, the Centurion, the Archer, the Jaeger, and the secondary Guillotine. I mean, that's not terrible. We're going to be 3 mechs short. We could get the Blackjack repaired in this time, for sure. And I'm okay with that. So let's go ahead and get the Blackjack repaired. That'll also bring Kodiak back. Let's go forward until the Imp is done. Yeah, this is cutting it close, but I think we'll be okay. The engine repairs just finished. Now the next question is, do we want to queue up another set of engine repairs here? And the answer is yes, we absolutely do. This is going to put us into debt, so we are going to need to probably get rid of a few more things. That's okay. There are more things that we can get rid of. Absolutely. We've got plenty in the storage tanks here. So let's just, I think for right now, let's look for primitives like this Heliopolis. We'll get rid of it. This Orion. Actually, I kind of want to keep the Orion parts and those Emperor parts. This fire truck, on the other hand, will absolutely get rid of that. Excellent. Ultralight carrier, get out of here. This archer and this king crab, we will keep those parts, for sure. The swordsman, on the other hand, we'll get rid of that. Excellent. And we'll get rid of these locust parts as well. Okay, that puts us up over 300k. I do think that we probably want to get rid of this Hollander too as well. I'm not too into that. I mean, yeah, that is a nice upgrade to the Hollander, but even so. Okay, so let's go ahead and start working on our next engine repairs upgrade.
All right, I'll get the team on it right away.
We're going to need that. This will be another good upgrade to get, but we'll hold off on that one for now. We've got 7 days until our bankruptcy. We're going to tick forward 3. So, 1, 2, 3. That gets us the Dragon Slayer. Okay. All of our mech warriors are back, so let's double check our way through here and make sure that everybody is as upgraded as they can. A mech warrior can grab a point of piloting. That's absolutely fine.
Aye, aye. Waiting for
Anything else here?
Waiting for orders.
Yeah, Carriated can grab a point of tactics. That's okay. And then El Duce can grab a point of guts.
Mech warrior training complete.
Falcon is fine. Jinx, Kodiak can grab a point of piloting.
Training.
Excellent. Kraken is doing okay. Lord Daki is doing fine. Scrub, Squib, Tarbox, and Woody are all fine. Okay, so at this point, we need to get funds. There's no doubt about that. So let's hop into our contracts and see what's available. I feel like we can probably pull off something like this. This is an assassinate mission. It's 1.5k, or 1.5 million rather. 4.5 skulls. I think we'll do it. I'm not too interested in this salvage. I think we'll run straight down the middle. Now, this will not be enough to pay for our financial report, obviously, but that's okay. We'll go ahead and populate everything that we can here. There we go. The Centurion, Guillotine, and Archer. I'm going to drop the Centurion out of this section, and we'll put in the Imp. And as far as the Imp pilot goes, I kind of want to go with Tarbox, but we kind of also can't. Maybe we go with a Mech Warrior in the Imp. He doesn't have anything in terms of affinities. And then we can put in, let's see, in Lance 2 here, I want to put in the Blackjack for sure, and the Jaeger. The J. Edgar is going to go in Lance 3 here. So that will be the J. Edgar and Scrub. Okay. So there's our vehicle Lance, good to go. Now our kind of juggernauty Lance here is going to have the Jaeger, which we're going to need a Jaeger pilot in that. Not exactly Lord Daki. We could do Kodiak. He is currently lacking in an affinity, so that is a thing we could do. And then we would have, say, the Blackjack over here. Kraken wouldn't pilot the Blackjack, obviously. Let's see, who does pilot the Blackjack? That is Arclight. Arclight's a Blackjack pilot, so that will work perfectly. And then in this Lance here, there is the Panther. It's not exactly ideal to bring along on this, but it'll have to do. Actually, we're not going to bring the Panther. We're actually fine here. We can bring the Victor. We can bring the 2 Guillotines. And then the Centurion. I like it. Okay, so Ariamaki is Chameleon, Assassin, and Vulcan. And not ideal, to be sure. Hunchback, Vulcan, and Javelin. Okay, so Tarbox, we know we want to pilot a Guillotine. And that is something we will do. El Duce, who do you pilot? Jaeger? Okay, we'll pull Kodiak out of that Jaeger, and we'll put El Duce in there. Kraken, what do you pilot? Nidhogg, Blackjack, Centurion. Okay, that's fine. So the Victor, we can actually put Kodiak in there. That'll be fine. And then the other Guillotine, I would like to find somebody who doesn't have affinities. Or who already has Guillotine affinities. I don't think that exists, so. Kraken has piloted the Centurion, and we'll go ahead and slot him in there. And then we'll put Caryatid in the Guillotine. Nope, he can't pilot that. I guess it'll have to be Lord Daki, even though he doesn't have affinities. Okay, so this is already substantially heavier, and we actually can't deploy this as is. So we're going to have to drop out one of these mechs for the Panther, and I think it will be this Guillotine. Even though I'm not happy about it. That's 625, and that brings us up to 660. We actually can't deploy with this mech. We could drop out the Centurion and bring the Guillotine, however. And that puts us 5 tons below. Yeah, I rather enjoy this. And we'll just put Kraken in the Guillotine. Okay. So once we get another 50 tons, we'll be fine over here. We'll be able to go up to 700 tons. We'll deploy this. Yes, we know we have unused tonnage. So that is going to be interesting to see how this performs. Now, this is not our final setup here by any means. It'll be really interesting to see how fast our cavalry lance can actually move. I suspect it's not tremendously fast, in all honesty. But it should be faster than our Juggernaut lance anyway. Cavalry, or perhaps cavalry adjacent. At any rate, I expect that our vehicles are going to be tremendously outpaced. And I also suspect that we're going to want to eventually do something about that. Perhaps switching the vehicles over to a fire support role and upping their tonnage dramatically, like tremendously. That said, having our vehicles be light tonnage is probably good, considering that our overall drop weight limit is going to be capped at, what is it, 800, I believe? So we'll have to feel that one out. For now, though, we need to destroy the target and escape. We've had confirmation from several sources that the leader of an insurgent cell backed by the planetary government is moving in the open. It's a rare opportunity. Okay, great. But best to be alert for anything. Indeed, Darius.
Command interface initiated.
Hopefully we're not Team Fuchsia this time. We will see. We do have allies. So there are reinforcements and supporting forces. Okay. I don't mind dropping, like, over here. Yeah, this wouldn't be bad, I don't think. Potentially, no, that Guillotine's not going to have a problem. Okay, let's do it. Are we Team Fuchsia?
Here we go.
We're Team Invisible.
Could be some prime beach real estate. If only there were
Okay,
beach.
we're visible now. Good. I was concerned about being Team Invisible.
If I were planning an ambush, this is where I'd put it.
Indeed. This is a good spot for an ambush, since they're up here. But we had to deploy in this area, so... Okay, so we see that there are quite a few guys spread out over here. We should be able to swing out, deal with that. The insurgent leader is up there. The supporting forces are here. The reinforcements are up here. Yeah, we definitely want to swing over this way and push our way north. Okay, so El Duce in the Jaeger is going to step over here. Although, actually, we are going to reserve here and allow these guys to move. So I want them to...
Aye, reserving action.
I want them to drop their evasive. That's a thumper on our team there. That's very good. Yeah, that Axeman, he is not going to be happy about that one. Excellent. Next up, they're continuing to fire on our guillotine, continuing to do literally nothing. This is fine. I have no problem with this. We are going to reserve again. After this reservation,
Preserving
we are likely going to start moving. The Axeman does not fire. He exposes side arc here. That's a Marauder. Firing on the Thumper, missing everything. Okay, that's a waste of its turn. Triple PPC on a Marauder likely means if it's not running double heat sinks, which I think it is, that it would overheat.
Yep.
It must be running double heat sinks. Okay, we're going to move up with our Blackjack here. Our hit odds are 20%, 7%, and 2%, and 11%. We see a quick draw up there. Okay, that's fine. We'll go ahead and fire on this Axeman's side arc. This is an overheat alert. I'm not going to fire the medium lasers. Okay, I'm not too shocked by that.
I missed?
Yep, you absolutely did. That tends to happen. The archer moves up, our allied archer, and fires on the Marauder. That is the primary target there, and it did some damage. Okay, we like that. Phase 18, we see that they have a couple of movements, the Dragonfire and this guy up here, whatever that is. But we're going to begin moving right now. Our Dragon Slayer is going to come up over here, and we're going to sprint in. This is a cavalry mech. We do have that UAC 20. On 4.3%, I'm not going to bother firing the UAC 20. Everything else here, absolutely. Okay, we hit with the snub nose. That's nice. What else do we have moving? Well, we know that they have quite a few Phase 18 movers, actually. At least right now. Firing on the Nidhogg, but missing. Okay, we can take that. We may send the Nidhogg up this way to deal with the primary target. That's definitely an idea that I'm thinking about right now. Holy heat. Okay, that was not actually his heat. I was going to say, a single PPC doing that much heat? I know this is a desert, but that's ridiculous. We're going to move up with our guillotine to here. And of course, our guillotine is following up on our Victor. We're going to see about lighting this Axeman up. Our hit odds aren't great, though, so we'll see what we get. Not much is the answer. Luckily, we also didn't backstab our Victor. That would have made me sad. The Dragonfire does hit our Blackjack there with a stray shot. A little sad, but it's okay. I would honestly kind of rather that they hit the Blackjack than the Dragon Slayer, because the Dragon Slayer is more likely to be taking damage later on. Now the J. Edgar is absolutely going to make its way over here. This is a rear arc on this guy, and we will certainly get into rear arc on an Axeman. What is an Axeman's rear armor like? Super weak. Okay. Of course, we're not going to kill it, but we will heat it up a little bit. Not that an Axeman runs that hot. Okay, another Marauder looking.
Enemy flanking.
Yeah, I think that's a Marauder. Pretty sure that's a Marauder. It did a lot more damage to the Axeman than it did to the J. Edgar there.
Light damage. Holding firm.
It did not overheat despite all those energy attacks. Okay, they're definitely running some heat sinks. That's okay. We will move up with our Archer, which is in the Juggernaut Lance.
I'm going.
So we will just inexorably advance here. 54%. What if we ran Deadfire? Nope. Okay. 20%. I think that we do actually go for this Marauder here with the Archer. Soften up its armor. This is nice side arc attack. Light him up.
Got it, Commander.
Solid damage there. I like it. Our ally, that's a longbow. Okay. Firing on this guy, only doing 5 damage. Not much of a longbow loadout, is it? Dual LRM-20s. I think it only fired 1 there. Okay. Probably due to hit odds.
Yes, Commander.
Our Jaeger will go ahead and step up to here. Yeah, we're clumping up a little bit here. There's no doubt about that. I'd like to light into that Axeman, and that's exactly what we're going to do. This is not technically rear arc, but it's close.
Let's see how you like this.
Okay. Good armor reduction on that guy. We will happily take that. Next up, our Harasser. I absolutely want to come in with the Harasser and see about getting into rear arc of their Marauder here. This guy, I feel like, is probably running the borderline on heat. And so I would like to see about doing something about that. We only hit 1 of those flamers, sadly. Let's see what our ally does. It's a heavy carrier. Fires on the primary target. Does some damage there. We'll take that. That's fine.
Yeah?
The guillotine will absolutely step over here
Copy that.
as part of the cavalry lance. We can go on the marauder or on the axeman, and our hit odds are a little bit better on the marauder, so that is what we will do.
Confirmed.
Whole lot of nothing there. Okay.
Targeting system's janky.
Yeah, that's not the targeting system. You are just terrible.
Receiving you.
I say as that's our pilot. Now, the Maxim actually can get into rear arc here of this guy. Let's see if we can sprint and get into a better rear arc position. I like it. We'll get the Maxim up there, max evasive, and we will go ahead and plop in a bunch of SRMs. Our hit odds aren't the best, but neither is this guy's rear armor. Okay. Certainly not tremendously lucky there. Now, our Nidhogg, I'm absolutely going to send over... I'm kind of thinking about sending it this way, actually.
Got it.
As a bit of a scout, I feel like the Marauder is kind of isolated, and we're better off using the bombs up here, where they might be clustered together. For now, we're going to drop the snub-nosed PPC on the Marauder. I'm not going to bother firing the rocket packs here.
Engaging with target.
Okay, we missed. That is fine.
Failed to connect.
Indeed. Indeed.
How can I help?
Okay, so a mech warrior in the imp is going to position up over here.
Roger.
Now, of course, the imp is primarily a long-range boat here, and I'd love to see some better hit odds than this. I guess we'll go for the Marauder. And this is probably going to massively overheat us because we're not intended to be firing all these mediums at the same time as all of these heavier weapons. We can, however, go ahead and fire these ER medium lasers. I'll not fire this one.
Firing.
Nice structure exposure there, actually. And yeah, running double heat sinks. I'm not surprised by that. So that Marauder is now unsteady, and it doesn't move until phase 16. They've got a Yenlo Wang up there, actually. Got to be careful of the autocannon in that. A quick draw, firing on the Harasser. Getting a couple hits in, but that's okay. That Marauder not looking so good. What else do they move? The Ostrak moves up, fires on our Thumper, and gets nothing. Sure. I'd love to see the Thumper start targeting armor strip up here, or perhaps going for the primary target. One or the other. Phase 22, that is the Axeman. Goes for a melee attack on the Maxim there, and misses. Okay. Does it fire any weapons there? It does not.
Good to go.
Sure. We'll walk up with our Jaeger. And we are going to fire perhaps on the Axeman. Yes, we're definitely going to fire on the Axeman here. We may stray shot the Maxim, but the odds are good. That was very nice. Probably a knockdown as well. Yeah, that's a knockdown. So I'm going to move the Maxim away from the Axeman for sure. The Axeman dies here. Thumper moves up. Does not fire. Okay. Not an ideal scenario there. Phase 21, it could be this Wraith. Could be somebody up here. Hard to say. Okay. It was the Wraith, and they missed the Dragon Slayer. Perfect. That is fine. So let's see what the Wraith decides to do next. It's going to ace pilot here, I assume. Yep, there it goes. Interesting positioning. Very interesting positioning. Our archer is going to step forward over here
Moving to position.
with the goal of firing not on the Axeman, but actually on the Marauder here. Straight into this weakened side arc. Hit it with everything you've got. Are we better off with Deadfires? I believe we actually are. This is a lower hit odd, but we do more damage, and this is roughly half. It's not actually half, but it's roughly half, and this is less than half. So I'm going to go ahead and fire Deadfires here on this Marauder. Nice.
Ooh, that hits.
That's probably a knockdown on the Marauder. Yep, absolutely. That was a good, solid hit there. A periphery pike, huh? Okay. Not exactly sure what that guy does. We'll find out, I'm sure. We'll move up with the Blackjack here. This is unobstructed LOS right here.
Roger.
That's what we're looking for. The Blackjack will look to finish off the Axeman. And I'm going to fire the medium lasers, but not that one PPC. What did we get there? Not quite enough. But very, very close. To the point where our allies, I suspect, will finish that off. I'm going to move behind the Dragonfire here with the J. Edgar. And we're going to go ahead and heat this guy up a little bit. Now, I don't think that this thing runs that hot.
Firing.
And we missed everything. So that's, you know, a thing. But they've definitely got a couple of stricken mechs here. And we aren't even fully engaged yet. So the Nidhogg is going to make its way up over here. The Nidhogg is kind of solo engaging this area. And I'm just checking hit odds. Looks like the Centurion. Okay.
Roger that.
We did miss. That's okay. So let's see what happens next. It's an ally turn. Their archer moves up and goes for the Axeman. That should be a dead Axeman. Yes, perfect. He never got to use that LBX-20, so that's great. Next up is our Harasser. Our Harasser is, I think, going to join our Nidhogg up here. Just because I want to have multiple targets. This is a rear arc position on the Centurion, and I like that. Now, the Centurion probably doesn't run all that hot, but we'll give it a go.
Roger.
Soften up his rear arc a bit. And he'll still have a hard time sinking that heat.
Yep.
Our Guillotine will absolutely come forward here.
Got it.
And we will fire on the Marauder with the chance of stray-shotting the Wraith. Excellent. I want to go for that CT.
Copy that.
Okay. Not a ton of damage there, but decent armor shred. That'll do.
Ready for order.
The second Guillotine will come up over here.
Heading out.
And we will also go for the Marauder. Now, this Guillotine should be able to get the kill. This does run hotter. I think we're going to avoid firing the medium laser here, but everything else will be fine.
Confirmed. Firing.
Kaboom.
Tango down.
Fantastic.
I'm out of SRMs.
Yes, you fired your bolt-ons. That is fine. So phase 17, we're going to see an ally move. Perhaps this Dragonfire first. Okay, they missed their rifle. That's nice. Could have done some damage to the Guillotine there. It wouldn't have, you know, been devastating, but it would have done something. We're going to come in with the Maxim behind the Dragonfire. I'm not too concerned about the Wraith right now.
Affirmative.
We can probably take down the Wraith from front arc. But we're going to come around with the Maxim, and we are going to hit this Dragonfire in its weak rear arc. Hopefully get some good damage done here. We did get a structure exposure there. A couple of engine
Take
crits.
a critical hit.
But we didn't get a kill. That, of course, is the primary target, but that was a really bad shot. So that is fine. No concerns there. Our longbow moves up. And fires on the primary target there. Gets a decent number of hits in. That's great. Keep doing that, please. The heavy carrier also fires on the primary target. And it also does quite a lot of damage, getting some structure exposures there. We may want to toss some fire support that way ourselves.
Receiving you.
Our Dragon Slayer, of course, is not fire support. We're going to close in.
Confirmed.
And is that an ICE in this thing? I feel like I forgot to change an ICE out of this. We'll check into that next time I remember, which will probably be never. I don't think I'm going to fire the Ultra AC-20 on 29% hit chance here either. This Wraith isn't that dangerous that I need to risk it. So we'll just shred its armor a little bit and move forward. Okay. Next up is our Imp. The Imp, of course, is not really in a position to do much other than toss some damage at this Wraith. We'll not fire our ER medium lasers here, so that we sink some heat.
Confirmed.
Okay, we missed everything. Not ideal, but we still sink heat, so that's okay. Okay, next up, Phase 30. Really? Oh, that's the Wraith. Okay, well, the Wraith gets to move here. We'll see what it decides to do. Well, Mr. Wraith? It's doing a whole lot of nothing so far. Presumably, it's going to fire and then Ace Pilot. Okay, yeah, shoot at the Imp, please. The Imp can take that. I do think that this is an internal combustion engine. We need to check that. I would like to change that if at all possible. We'll need to investigate the pros and cons. Well, one of the cons, obviously, is it has to be in an atmosphere. The Wraith moves into cover. That's fine. Phase 24, they have 2 movers in this phase. And it's phase 19 on that guy. The Quick Draw moves up, fires on the Harasser. Actually does more damage to the Centurion. Well, maybe not. It may have done more damage to the Harasser, but it did backstab its Centurion friend there. And we do like that. The other phase 24 mover is the Ostrock, and it spread out a bit. Looks like it's making for the primary target. That's okay. We have a phase 21 ally, the Thumper. Oh, please don't Thumper that. That's the worst possible choice. Thumper the priority target. Seriously. We didn't get a damage report there. Noted.
Can't take much more of that.
So, that guy has a lot of rifles. 3 light rotaries. Okay. Yeah. The Harasser probably dies this round or next. I'm going to position the Jaeger here. And we'll take a look. The Wraith is 60%, 40%, 5.8, 20.8. So we'll go for the Wraith here. We're probably going to lose the Harasser this round or next. So we should do just the absolute most damage we can with it. It is, of course, completely expendable. That Wraith lost its ERPPC, which is its primary armament.
Standing by.
Excellent. Our Guillotine will step forward here.
Aye, aye.
And we're also going to work on the Wraith. I'm not going to fire the ERPPC here. But I am going to fire this medium laser and sink a little bit of heat.
Locking on target.
Okay, we hit a little bit there. All good.
Ready for orders.
The Nidhogg is absolutely going to make its way up here. Now, there's not really a great bomb point here. If we bomb the Periphery Pike, we kill the Harasser. So I think I'm actually going to come up here and non-AoE bomb this Ostrock.
Roger. Full speed.
Our hit odds aren't the best, but we'll go for it.
Firing at enemy.
We got some good damage in there. I will happily take that. The Marauder moves up. Fires on the Thumper. Doesn't really do much. Little bit of armor damage. That's fine.
Ready for orders.
The Jaeger, at this point, is going to position just right back here. Continue to hit that Dragonfire. Now, the Dragonfire is going to move before our Maxim, which is unfortunate, but
Firing full complement on the enemy.
we can heat him up, soften up his rear arc a little bit. That heat isn't going to do much to him, though, in all honesty. He's going to move right now, and he's going to lose his instability and gain no evasive, actually. Firing on the Thumper and missing everything. This is fine. They can do this if they like. Now, once again, we're very likely to lose our Harasser, but I don't care.
Heading out.
It's completely fine. We're going to fire a binary laser here, and this will build up some heat, but that is okay.
Attacking from position.
That's a lot of leg damage there. I would have liked to have that binary laser go CT, but it'll do. This guy's no longer evasive. Longbow moves up, fires on the Dragonfire. Does a little bit to it, but that honestly would have been better off on the Wraith, I think. Maybe it was an ideal range thing, but our Archer, I absolutely want to start moving up this way.
I'm walking here.
I'd like to go for one of these guys up here, ideally. Maybe go for the Periphery Pike, softening it up, because next round we might be able to go for a kill on it with the Harasser, and that would be a worthwhile trade. So we'll soften up the Periphery Pike. Probably should have used Artemis, but actually that worked great.
What do you need?
The Blackjack will step forward and continue working on taking out this Lance down here. The Wraith is very, very weakened at this point, and I think we go for this.
Take this.
Nice. So that Wraith should not move again. The Archer steps up, fires on the Wraith. That's ideal. Probably not quite a kill, but it's very close. And that is a knockdown on the Wraith as well. The Wraith is definitely dead. It just doesn't know it yet.
Good to go.
Okay, so we are going to move the Harasser here. The Harasser, I believe, dies here. We are going to put our front to this wall in hopes, vain hopes, of living. But we're going to position right here, and we are going to heat up the rear arc of this Periphery Pike and hope that we take it with us.
Confirmed.
That was not good. Didn't get good rolls there. I guess that's going to have to do, though. Maybe we survive, but the AI will have to misplay it for us to survive at this point with the Harasser. But the Harasser is entirely expendable, and we can always put it back. There we go. This guy's dead.
Got him.
So there's the supporting forces, 75% down. Next
Ready
up,
for orders.
the Dragon Slayer just walks in and steps on this Wraith. This is gonna hurt. Them, not us. We're also on high explosive machine gun ammo, so that's great. I really do want to investigate that. Oh, we missed that? That was a bad roll. That's like 97%.
Negative damage.
Oh well. He still dies. I do want to check into that ICE.
Mech destroyed.
That's not something that I necessarily want. Okay, the heavy carrier moves up, fires on the primary target there. Gets an engine core crit. Great.
I've got your
It's
back.
now our imp, which is going to position, I guess, right over here. And fire on... It's got to be the Centurion. Okay. Open up.
Affirmative.
We did hit with one large laser there. We'll call that good. Okay, phase 23. Master Ostrock.
They're getting an angle on me.
Yep, I'm not surprised by this. As I said, we would probably end up losing the harasser. I did not realize that they had the triple light rotary rifles. That is now noted, and we'll see if I fall for that one again. But I probably will, in all honesty. We'll fire the dual Gauss at the quick draw. We did hit one of those, so that's nice. That is a structure exposure as well. Centurion going to fire on our Nidhogg and miss everything, looks like. And actually it positioned in an interesting place for us. Yeah, very interesting.
Orders?
The archer will move up.
Acknowledged.
And I am going to switch over to Artemis, and we probably should be firing at this Marauder, but we don't have the angle on it. So we will go ahead and fire on this Periphery Pike and see if we can finish it off. This is side arc into its weak side, I believe. Yes. I believe it dies here. Kaboom! Fantastic. Next up is our Guillotine. And the Guillotine is going to begin sprinting up over this way. And we're going to have to just take a long-range pot shot with our binary laser here. And that will sink some heat.
Acknowledged.
Yeah, I'm not shocked by that. Next up, this is going to be the quick draw. We'll see what it decides to do here. Firing on the Nidhogg, doing no damage to it. Perfect. Absolutely perfect. Okay, so our Nidhogg will then, of course, we have to travel at least this far. So our Nidhogg will move over. Is there anywhere closer in terms of rear arc? No. So we'll position here.
Roger that.
And we will just drop bombs on the Ostrock, and we'll probably splash damage the side arc of the Centurion.
Target locked. On enemy hit.
Would have liked for that to kill, but it did not. Thumper doing nothing. It may be out of ammo at this point. The Blackjack. Did I just see? I did. We have a firing solution on this Marauder with our Blackjack. We will take this. I'm not going to fire the second ERPPC. Okay, we missed, but that's okay. No real worries on that one. Next up is our Guillotine. And our Guillotine will position... Honestly, we're going to start backing off a bit here.
Roger.
And we can pot shot this quick draw with the ERPPC, but odds of hitting that are incredibly low.
Attacking from position.
Yep, not surprised.
Failed to connect.
That is pretty much what we expect.
Standing by.
Now, the Dragon Slayer at this point is going to work on closing in up here. It's not the fastest, and a fusion engine may help that. We're going to pot shot with the Snub Nose.
Confirmed.
And we got nothing. We also expect nothing. Excellent. Next up, the J. Edgar. The J. Edgar is absolutely going to close in as up here as it can, which is not tremendously up here, but
Aye, aye.
it's pretty close. Now we've got 3 allies. The Longbow firing on the weakened Marauder. This may be a kill, and indeed it is. So that's the LZ, huh? Okay. We're going to mop up the remaining reinforcements. We're not going to make for the evac zone. Heavy Carrier moves up, fires on the Ostrock, does some damage, and gets some splash damage on the Centurion. I like it. The Archer moves up, does not fire.
How can I help?
Our Imp will position here,
Moving out.
and we will fire the Gauss and ER Large combo on the quick draw. I'm thinking about maybe dropping a couple of these mediums for additional heat sinks when we've got some. But for now, this'll do.
Standing by.
Okay, the Maxim will also try to make its way up towards the LZ. There we go.
Me there.
And then there were 3. They all move in phase 22. They may focus fire the Nidhogg here. The Ostrak didn't fire.
Yep.
It's trying to protect its rear arc. Okay, we'll position the Blackjack up here. And we will pot shot the Quick Draw with our ERPPCs. Not like we expect anything out of this.
Roger.
We actually hit one. Ooh!
Hostile
It got an ammo SRM explosion and killed the Quick Draw. Now that's low odds. Yeah, there's that AC. But the Nidhogg is actually fine.
My armor's getting stripped off.
Yeah, but you're also fine. So,
Commander?
our Archer is going to step up over here. We can't get direct LOS, but that's okay. We've got plenty of Artemis 4 for right now. I think... What are our hit odds like? 18 on the Ostrak? We do it. A couple of hits there. That'll do. Next up,
Yeah.
the Guillotine will advance over here. Now we don't have eyes on, so we'll just move to the road
Full throttle.
and sink some heat. Okay.
Ready for orders.
Our other Guillotine will do largely the same. We'll advance up. The Thumper, not firing. It must be out of ammo.
Receiving you.
Our Jaeger also doesn't have direct LOS. That's fine. Keep in mind, once our Sorcerer is done, this will be much less of a big deal not having direct LOS. We're going to go ahead and move up to behind the Centurion here. Like so. And we'll soften up his rear arc a bit. I don't know how much we'll be able to soften it. Yeah, actually a fair amount. Nice. Eat him up a bit. Our allied archer moves up, does not fire.
Receiving you.
Our Nidhogg is going to position behind the Ostrak again.
Acknowledged.
This Ostrak can probably be killed at this juncture. Absolutely. It can absolutely die here.
Firing at enemies.
And it did. Perfect.
One less target.
And now there's one. Just the Centurion left. The longbow fires on the Centurion. Gets a little bit of damage into it. Sure. The guy is pretty overheated right now.
Receiving you.
And our Dragon Slayer probably doesn't have LOS. Yeah, it does not. That's fine. It'll step up. Heavy Carrier firing on the Centurion. Does some damage to it. It does some damage to our J. Edgar too, but that's fine. We don't actually care. Okay. Our Maxim. This was always the plan, right here. The Maxim comes up,
Let's see what this baby.
and we finish the Centurion with a backstab. It's got very little armor left in its rear arc. This could very easily kill it. And it did. Fantastic. Let's get out of here. Only 5 rounds to burn through that. That's definitely feeling better, and we're not even at our full strength. That's the thing. We're not even at our full strength. Now, we have to deploy at least one more time before our financial report. So we'll see what we have in terms of repairs here. And I do want to still investigate that Victor, because I know that if I put a cut in here before I do that, I will forget. Absolutely. So we will proceed here. We only took a little bit of damage. I would not necessarily mind taking Marauder parts. Okay, and we did not get a full Marauder for our finances. That's probably a good thing. We'll keep that LBX AC-10 for sure. Generic armor, get out of here. Light rifle ammo, same thing. So that made us a decent chunk of money. We got about 800k in profits there. It could have been better, to be sure, in terms of profit margins, but overall, that felt really, really good. I don't think it's going to cost us much at all in terms of repairs. 800k is a decent profit margin. The question is, how long before our mech warriors are back compared to how long before the financial report? I think it was 7 days to the financial report, so we should be able to deploy another time, which is good. Very, 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 very good. We absolutely want to. 3 days for the repairs, that should be perfect. Go ahead and do that, Yang. I do want to look at these repairs here. Okay, 6 days on the sorcerer. 4 days on the financial report. So we're not going to have all of our mech warriors back. Okay, let's go ahead and hop into the mech bay here. We are going to be able to deploy before the next financial report. I do want to check in on this Victor, because it apparently has an internal combustion engine that we don't necessarily want. Engine XL, engine core +5, blah, blah, blah. I don't see the engine type here. Well, actually, yeah, I do. It's got an XL engine. So that's a thing. And that's a standard engine. So what was causing the smoke then? Is that just an effect of the Dragon Slayer? And maybe it is. This is a special type of the Victor. So, I mean, since we've got the XL engine, there's nothing to be done there. So I guess that's fine. I'm going to go ahead and tick forward the 3 days right now. So, 1, 2, 3. Okay, sometimes it takes an extra day. That was risky. However, we're going to be missing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 mech warriors here. And we got to deploy before we hit this financial report. That said, we're only lacking 2 mechs, so it should, in theory, be okay. We do have some spare mech warriors. At any rate, it is time to put a cut in here, so I'm going to go ahead and do that, and next episode, we're going to deploy again immediately. You can leave your offerings to the engagement gods in the form of likes, comments, subscribes, and bell ringings, and I will see you all next time.